So I want to talk to you about the Best of Me collaboration with Jay-Z. Is there a backstory to that?
You know, my record company at the time, they were doing all of the negotiations. I wasn't a part of that firsthand, so I can't really tell you how it came about, but I know that a couple of entities at the label, whether it be on the advertising, marketing side or independent label side, because I was also signed to an independent through Interscope, which was University Music Entertainment out of Washington, D.C. So I don't have the full backstory on how the collaboration even came together. I just know that I was doing remixes back to back, and there was this artist feature and that artist feature, and I was never around in the studio to even work with that person, which is why I mentioned Lady Marmalade was so special, because I was there, working with the artist firsthand.
Were you pleased that they chose Jay-Z?
Yeah, I was thankful for all of the collaborations. They only helped me, not hindered me. So it was always a blessing to have another person of a different genre or the same genre come and bless you with a completely different vibe from whether it be the original record or just adding, a different energy to your creation. So it always helps because you pull their fan base in, your fan base is intertwined, and it's great energy, when working with other artists, period. Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like when female singers work with rappers, they try to link them romantically, and years later, another rumor comes up saying that you guys had an affair. Even though you denied it, how does that make you feel for something so old to come back up?
Well, what was old just never existed. So, there was nothing to come back up because it never existed.
Well, the rumors keep surfacing.
Well, I'm in a business that comes with a lot of bullshit. If you sign up to be an entertainer, you have to realize that many things are going to be said about you.
Yeah.
If you exist as a human being in this world, and especially in this world with social media, you're going to be talked about. If you have any type of platform to have a voice. Females, yeah, if you have any type of sensuality, sex appeal, or not, you can still get talked about and linked to people that you have never even met, and it is what it is. It comes with the territory. So it really doesn't bother me. If you're in a relationship, it can get a little strange because you have to constantly defend yourself and explain yourself for what really doesn't have to be explained, because it doesn't exist and it never existed. But that's the only thing that I can think of. You get used to it.
What made you address the public?
I never addressed the public about it. I addressed fans that want to know. So I don't make statements for controversy and press and all of that stuff. I answer my fans that may genuinely be concerned and have a question. But you have to understand, and that was also a lesson to me, that anything you do, say, gets snapshotted, retweeted.
Yeah.
And everyone is all over it, whether it be television, blogs, whatever, and you don't necessarily owe anyone an explanation, but fans that follow want to know, and I think it's important when it comes to your character not to shy away from it. It's okay to tell the truth, and it's okay to give somebody a run for their money if they're disrespecting you, especially when you're a female,
Yeah.
because we're often taught not to. And it's just self-protection, and you can't avoid a lot of things, but you do have a voice. And I don't like beating a dead horse. I don't like coming across as me trying to defend myself and come across as innocent, but people get carried away, and they do want to know. Inquiring minds would like to know sometimes.
Like you said, people are so quick to screenshot, pull out their phones. There was a video of you performing at a strip club, and many fans were shocked, but you looked like you were having a great time.
I celebrate myself wherever I choose, whenever I choose. I've been performing in strip clubs for a long time, but because we're in a cell phone era where now they are illegal in strip clubs or many different places where they were not before, because of social media and promotion. Those that were not aware were completely surprised. I have a ball, and it's the same thing I would do on a gay pride stage that I would do in a strip club stage. I was having the time of my life, and I was celebrating me. So I will not stop celebrating me. And I'm a liberated woman that makes my own decisions, and I have no regrets. I don't live in fear, and I do not operate from that place.
Yeah, you've been doing it since you were 18, right?
Yeah. A little illegal. A little illegal, but yeah. I really love to explore, and perform in different areas. That's where I test records. That's where I understand my fan bases. That's where I get inspired. Every scene. There's the ball scene and the LGBT community. There's the strip club scene, where you make specific records for the ladies. There are all kinds of places and different venues that I performed from theaters to amphitheaters to jazz fest to tap dance fest to you name it. And every place is different with a different demographic. But, I'm inspired by other people that are not necessarily a recording artist, I pull from lots of different areas. So as far as how shows and offers come about, that's usually on the professional side. I look at all the facts and say, oh, sure, you're doing a grand opening? All right, cool. Or where is this? How much money am I making? What do I get to learn from it? May I interview some of the girls that work there, etc. So it really truly depends on how I'm feeling.
I read that you said seeing those women perform is empowering.
Well, you can't believe everything that you read.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I said.
Mm-hmm.
What I said was I feel empowered.
Yeah.
Talking to people all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes the gay community, abused women, broken teens, strippers, a lot of people that have been criticized and judged. And when I hear backstories, it can be empowering for the abused woman that, takes matters into her own hands and finds liberation and independency in a job that allows her to take care of herself so that she can leave a situation that is not healthy for her. So yes, in that circumstance, it can be empowering for you not to have to succumb or surrender to some bullshit that you don't deserve because of finances. So I've learned that by just sitting down and listening to people's stories. What I have not said was taking your clothes off is empowering, which the media will spin. I said women are beautiful whether they are fully clothed or not. From every facet, whether that be the mind, the heart, the body, the soul. There's many different components to an individual versus just the flesh. But as you know, you have to be very careful what you say, And yes, it can be empowering in different circumstances as it pertains to that person. But me personally, I'm empowered when I connect with different people and understand them. The common denominator in people is the struggle, and then finding what you relate to and how you can be an asset to them, relate to them or them to you. So that's what I find empowering about stepping into different territories.
Now there are a lot of young female artists that talked about being mistreated in the industry. You have Grimes and Kesha. How do you think it affects them, and do you think it's changed since you first started?
Well, I can't say that all women are treated unfairly, disrespectfully, but I can say that that happens all over the world in every or any industry, in any circumstances, whether it be personal relationships, in business, etc. You must protect your space, but you don't necessarily know what the agenda is behind someone speaking down to you, at you, etc. There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, sexually, financially. And you have to break down your value. You really have to assess that and your standards. And it's very difficult if you don't know it, if you can't identify it regarding what's coming at you. And that takes some time to maybe step away if you walked into this game not knowing who you are and your limitations. You know, there can be power plays and ultimatums given for the people that hold the power, whether that be toward a female or male artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I often find that a lot of women that I speak to suffer from that, you know, but you really have to protect, you know, what you allow yourself to believe, because it will be fed, whether it be your body image, what you need to change about yourself, how you need to sound, what you need to look like, how you need to dress, who you need to date, what you need to say. You grow into that. If you start early in any game without knowing who you are and being solid in some type of foundation, it's very dangerous for you as an individual. And you have to not be desperate. You have to be willing to say, I'm good, fuck you, and walk away, you know. But if contractually you have no options, that's a living hell, you know. I find it horrific to have to be bind to negative energies. It's unfair, whether you're a male or female. But I would definitely have to say those in power, you know, that want to abuse it and get off on abusing it, definitely plot on their prey, you know. And you have to be willing to sacrifice anything that you think you might benefit from, a career, etc., and say no, period, and learn how to do it yourself.
How did you stay so guarded within your career?
This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed. You will be talked about. You will be shitted on. You will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me, you know, if I have to sell my soul. And people will still try to manipulate, you know, the perception of you regardless. But as long as you can go to bed at night and look in the mirror and be happy and say, thank God, you know, I've been kept. I'm still solid on who I am as a person. I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that, you know. And I have people to take care of, so I don't have time to play games, time to be on drugs, time to be on alcohol, you know, trying to put a Band-Aid over stuff that I can't live with. So my best bet is to empower yourself, get educated, and try to make it happen. It may be a process, but no person deserves to have an ultimatum over them.
Yeah.
For fame or for glory, because it's not glory at all.
Did you ever feel like you were blackballed?
You know, I don't like to make excuses like that. I don't like to be bitter. I know what I feel. And when I feel negativity, and when I feel bullshit, and when I feel ultimatums coming my way, I gotta maneuver elsewhere, you know. So I don't give it the time of day to say, oh, I was blackballed, you know, it's because of you that no, I don't make excuses. I just know what doesn't feel good, and I just don't work with those entities, and I just don't work with those energies or allow them in my life, you know. So independent has been a blessing for me.
Yeah.
Not to just any entity, because guess what? The major label system is beautiful. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, you know, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success. So you have to step outside of your box, which is why I named my label Planet 9. It's the furthest from Earth. I have had to create my own rules, my own standards to live by, you know, and do things in my own time. You know, my planet might not necessarily rotate around the sun 365 days. It might take me 7 years to do something in my own time versus one Earth year. But I have to put myself in a completely different world and environment just to function and stay good, stay alive, you know, and stay happy.
Look, I work with them on Mad. Good guys. Good heart. Good guys. Give you the shirt off their back. Is it ironic? Is it a coincidence that they both, most of their friends are white and got white wives? They like white women? I mean.
And they develop envy because they go home. They get out the car with their friend, with their other partner, and he listening to your music. They walk in the house, they girl listening to your music. They go downstairs, the kids doing a dance to your music. Now they are hypnotized with hatred.